In the basement of a college town pizza parlor lies a local fighting game tournament scene. It's got food, drinks, KOF, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter, and Tekken. But most of all, it has a cohesive community that's hard to come by these days. This is Donato's Fight Night, located just outside of Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to episode 1 of Locals Unkown. Columbus is a city located right in the heart of Ohio and is home to the Ohio State University. If ever there were a college town so obsessed with football, you would find it here. Even with it being a college town, it's easy to get around and traffic isn't an issue even in rush hour. The path I like to take is off of exit 4 and across the Lane Avenue Bridge. You can take in the lively college scenery and maybe even see frat boys playing beer pong outside their houses. Disregard the beautifully drawn chibi ninas protecting the license plates. They're trying their best. I continue on Lane Avenue until I reach the intersection for North High Street and see the Starbucks. As you go down North High Street, you'll see the UDF convenience store and the Donato's on the corner of Frambees Avenue. For parking, I'm going to highlight two options here. If you get here early, I highly recommend you park on Frambees Avenue and download the C-Bus app on your phone. If you cannot find parking and you're worried about your vehicle on the side of the street like me, you can choose the parking garage on Lane Avenue past the Starbucks from earlier. The process is like parking on the street, except you don't have to download an app to pay and instead use a QR code. However, I will mention it's a more expensive option. Doors open at 6:15 and brackets start at 7, so you may want to know how long you're staying beforehand. Directly outside of the parking garage is a Noodles & Company paired with Korean restaurant Diaspora with a sushi twist. Coming out of the parking garage has this noir-style alleyway that leads back out onto the street. Look to your left and you should see Donato's. We weren't able to film inside the first floor where you order your drinks and food, but we can film the staircase leading into the basement. It's plastered with stickers from previous events, and from what I understand, they have local bands play here. Check it out when you have the time. Pause the video to see if you recognize any of these bands or events. The stairway opens up into a spacious dive bar, ideal for a local scene to flourish. The venue itself has an intimate vibe where there aren't any patrons that come down here, except for those here for games. It almost feels like a secret fight club. It even has its own bathroom, so you don't even need to go back upstairs. The bar itself is only open for those special events I touched on earlier, but they still serve drinks upstairs, so no helping yourself behind the bar, you freeloader. From the stage point of view, you can see here there's plenty of room available for setups. You can bring a gaming setup for whatever game you want to play, and Billy will probably play it with you. Within a matter of minutes, people start to trickle in with their setups and immaculate vibes. For this week, a group of players and I chipped in a total of $520 into the pot for Tekken 8. This brought out a surge of people, and we could still handle it with the space provided. I bet Donato's also appreciates the influx of customers, so it is a win-win for both parties. If any of us spill something, we clean it up, but we'll probably give each other shit for it. For this week, we also had King of Fighters 15, Soul Calibur 2, and Street Fighter 6. So now that there's a bunch of people here, it's time to meet some of the players.
Guys, so I'm here with Billy, also known as No Violence Billy, I believe.
Yeah, on Twitter, yes.
My tag is Rural Juror. If any 30 Rock fans out there know about that bit.
Could you share some of your favorite experiences so far at Donato's?
It's there's a lot. I mean, I think one of my favorites, like when I started coming out, we had like a little team tournament, Tekken 7. It was really nice. It's like a new player being able to actually kind of play and play to my similar skill level. It's more fun, no pressure and everything, but that was probably one of my favorite moments here. And then recently, I think the first team tournament we had here, we got a lot of people coming out. So I think for me right now, it's just nice seeing a lot of people come out for Tekken, getting like a big group together. It's we kind of died down during COVID, but I think we're making a great comeback now with Tekken 8. So shout out to all the TOs who are helping make sure this becomes a thing again.
When last year for Tekken 8, it's a new game, so obviously a lot of people are kind of starting from square one. And I feel like since we now have a community to be in, and we're all getting good together, it was just the amount of us that made it to day 2. Like, we had a picture with like 12 of us holding the Chipotle cards that you only got for making it out of pools on day 1. And just like that level of like supporting each other, like if you were on stream, we were all losing our minds going crazy for people like Fuyu and Cobb. It was like, I don't know, it was indescribable. Just like, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
I would say one of the moments that comes to my mind is a set that you and I had when I think I came here for the segment for the third time. I think every match that we played, it went to the final round, and nobody really knew which way it was gonna swing. So I think that was one of the most hype and memorable matches. And as like a relatively smaller scene right now, you don't expect so many close matches to happen. So I think that would be, if anybody saw that match, it would be a really good motivation for them to come in, try, and hopefully get to the same level and get to play some intense matches with their friends as well. So yeah.
Okay, honestly, my favorite memory is pretty recent. Last week we did a 2v2 bracket, a team bracket, and I actually teamed up with Chosen One, my secret rival. And I'm fairly new to the FGC as a whole. I haven't really played games before this, fighting games anyway. And so I'm not really familiar with the team bracket, like the how it all works out. But it was really hype, and it was serious but fun, and it was really competitive, and it was amazing. We ended up winning, beat an amazing team in yourself and Booty Bandit. And that was by far my favorite memory so far.
So I would say the week 1 Tekken 8 tournament, I actually TO'd that tournament, and it was so fun. We had a huge turnout, and just the energy for the new game was at like an all-time high, so I just had a blast running that, so that's definitely it.
Not long after people showed up, Matchstick Melee began to set up the stream on the main stage. He spared no expense at making it a full stream experience, with a dedicated camera and monitor for both the players and commentators. To have all of this happen within the basement of a local pizza parlor is nothing short of insane. All of my flowers go out to Matchstick Melee for doing this every week.
So tell me, describe the overall experience here to newcomers. So if you were to describe this place to newcomers, what would you say to try to get people in here?
For the newcomers, this is the most comfortable environment and learning environment also. So if it's something that they have a question with, or maybe something they can improve on, a lot of people like myself and you too can let them know this is what you do in a certain situation, and try not to mash any buttons too. So that helped me a lot.
Sometimes you have to mash against certain people.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, with some people, I also play volleyball sometimes. Some other people do D&D together. Some other people just go out, hang out, whatever. It can be a lot of activities you get into. Some people are into, some people are not into, some people won't know until they find out.
I think we have a really welcoming and diverse community. And the benefit of that is that if you're coming here and you just want to play some games, hang out, you're maybe not worried as much about the competitive part. There's space for that. But if you want the people who are going to push you, help grind, lab, learn some matchups, you have that too. So I just think it's a really welcoming community. It gives you a lot of options on, how you want to engage with it.
If it isn't obvious by now, everyone here is very friendly. They are willing to lab matchups with you, answer questions, and they genuinely want to see people grow as a player. Outside of the games, they are involved in a lot of social activities with other members and have made lasting friendships not only within the FGC, but outside of it as well. This is one of the few scenes that have very high performers come back consistently every week.
So, in terms of the NATO's Fight Club, and since you are a very high performer each time you enter bracket, what keeps you coming back for more?
I would say it's just the community aspect, the fact that we get to gather together as all like Tekken plays, other fighting games as well. We get to get some really good matches between us, and you have a lot of other fighting games as well that are available here. So you not only get to enjoy Tekken, but you can also like have a really good viewing experience for other FGCs, and you get to practice with the best players in the state. So that's, I think, one of the biggest motivators for me to come to the locals every week.
Well, bringing back here is just a lot. We got a lot of cool people here. Like I can name everybody. You probably talk to everybody too. You've been here as much. Everyone you talk to has probably said the same thing. Hopefully, that just a lot of the cool people here. Like we come here every Wednesday. Everyone has their own thing going on, but we just come here and just chill, joke around, just shoot the shit, just get their asses beat sometimes, and I get my ass whooped. And we just laugh about it. Just all the way till 12, and that's pretty much like what makes it local. I feel like just the company. Like people are all cool around each other and enjoy just hanging around people every Wednesday or every other day. Then what's not to love about coming back every time? People win a lot, but it doesn't matter if no one likes you.
Honestly, I really, really like the community. That's mostly the entire reason I kept coming back. I was a serial O2er for a very, very long time, but through community, I've gotten a little bit better and met a lot of great people, made a lot of great friends. So I would say community.
The tournament is now in full swing. There was a bracket of about 30 people for Tekken, so unfortunately I couldn't get to everyone, but I appreciate all of the players that came out to play. Special thanks to 1-800, Killzone Ant, Mark, Playboy Funyuns, Yerlunger, Zion, Booty Bandit, Ride a Guy, Stove, Fuyu, Fourside, Compalero, Revenant Tillywink, Grayonic, and Grievous Cube. Sol Naciente ended up being the winner of this week's tournament. He had to face several strong opponents such as Fuyu in a close set, Ola and his wildcard Eddie, closing it out with the cheap up 4+3 spring kick tech. He beat Chosen One with King's stupid heat smash. Although these players are trying their best, after a set they still shake it off, laugh, and dap each other up. And finally, we're at Grand Finals. Cobb versus Sol Naciente. In another close set, Sol takes Grand Finals over Cobb with King's obnoxious muscle armor. In other words, he's carried. In the end, top 8 got paid out a healthy sum for their efforts. Because this was a special pot bonus, we got several players to attempt what you call a money spread for the camera. Yeah, they tried their best. Donato's Fight Night is a solid scene with great food, drinks, games, and competition. But what makes this place really special is the incredibly close-knit community supporting it. Finally, let's get one last question out to our players.
Tell me what games you play here and what are your main characters.
I play Donatos to play Tekken and Street Fighter, pretty much nothing else. Tekken, I play Lars because I don't have Gigas, and Street Fighter I play Marissa because I don't have Rainbow Mika.
So I play Tekken, I main Steve Fox, and then I do play Mortal Kombat, I main Liu Kang.
So I'm mostly just playing Tekken 8 right now, and I'm playing Li Chaolan. Other games I play is like TFT, League of Legends, Apex, stuff like that.
As far as video games are concerned, I've only really primarily played Tekken. When I was a kid, I used to play a lot of arcade games with my friends, more like RPGs and those sorts of games. I was also really good in like Command and Conquer Red Alert series. I used to enjoy that a lot. And then just like your regular role-playing games and GTA, and then some racing games as well. So those were the few genres that I was interested in, but primarily I've always been a Tekken.
Sure. So here I play Street Fighter 6 and Tekken. In Street Fighter, I main Akuma. In Tekken, I main King.
So did you play Akuma at all in Tekken 7?
No, Tekken 8 is actually my first Tekken. I just started playing maybe 2 months ago, so I'm just working my way through ranks, playing all these guys, trying to get better.
I primarily play King of Fighters 15. I play a variety of characters, but I'm mostly focusing on my Chris, Hinako, Yashiro, some Clark. I do play Tekken 8. I started with Tekken 7. Season 1 when that came out, started coming out then. Now it's been coming out since 2018. I play Asuka. Do a little bit of Clive right now as well. Trying to, feel around some other characters, looking at Fung as well, but mostly an Asuka main right now.
I play Jin. I've been playing Jin since I started. Well, not since I started Tekken. I came across him towards like the middle of Tekken 7. It just kind of became the character I enjoy playing the most. I also play Heihachi. Kind of found out I like playing him when I was drunk one time at a party. I realized Heihachi's cool. So I mainly just shift around those two characters. I also mess around with Shaheen, a little bit of Azucena as well, But for the most part, it's just been Jin and Heihachi. My name is Cobb. My Twitter is KToadstool, all caps. My IG is also KToadstool, lower caps. Follow me on there. K as in, King. Follow me on IG. You get to see some gym fit pics and some tournament stuff.
What's up? I'm Pants for Hire. I am a generic video game commentator at the stars. I do Tetris, I do Counter-Strike, I do Street Fighter, I do anything. Put me in front of it, I'll help you out. That's at Pants for Hire on Twitter, but make sure the pants is spelled with a Z, so PANTZFORHIRE, okay?
So yeah, I'm mostly active on Twitter, and the Twitter handle is at the AZZY_TK.
My tag is Chosen One. I do have a Twitter and making an Instagram too, and I have a Chosen One on YouTube. That's it.
So just to clarify, it's Chosen One or Chosen One number 1?
Chosen One. Yeah, Chosen One. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, my tag is TheMit86. You can also find me on Twitter at the exact same tag, at TheMit86. I don't tweet a lot. I'm an old man, but sometimes some funny things.
You can find me on Twitter at LongJohnCenaFGC. Same on TikTok for as long as it's still around, of course. Still Long John Cena FGC there. And then you'll find me online, just Long John Cena on Twitch, and my PSN, Xbox, all that. You'll find me there.
So we need to find out who has helped nurture this local for so many years. Let's meet the Keist.
So there's a lot of discourse in the online community in terms of TOing and TOs and how competitors and different people see tournament organizers, and a lot of them claim it to be a thankless job. Would you agree?
I get what they're getting at. I'm blessed with a scene that thanks me frequently, to the point where I'm still caught off guard where someone says thank you for running the event at the end of the night, and it still makes my day and stuff. But at the same time, the sad truth about the personality type that kind of likes to play video games, it's all about like what are things I have control of. And when you're in that game world and you're playing like a single player game or even a multiplayer game, it's like you're in charge of everything you're doing. And then once you're kind of like going to an event and you're not really empathizing or putting your feet into like other people's shoes and stuff, you're not really seeing the work that goes into it. So I kind of get why the players might miss some of that stuff, and I also get why the tournament organizers like myself miss what top players are going through with their preparation stuff. And I think the bridge, we have to create the bridge between that and kind of like start, we're all humans at the same time, we're all gamers at the same time, and we love these games, and we just kind of want what's best for the scene and stuff. So definitely thankless, and that's kind of my advice to those who see it as thankless. Don't hide behind the curtain, kind of go out and talk about it more, I guess.
Yeah, I could definitely say that being a competitor for 8 years, you kind of the TOs are kind of like in the background, you know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, this person's gonna call my match and then I'm gonna go play and then that's it. And then until you actually, like you said, empathize with those people, it's like you don't really know what they're going through as well. It could be just as much preparation as if like you were preparing for a matchup or something like that in the game. And that's the other thing too is, you know, when it comes to being a TO, you have to be a people person and you have to be able to talk to different personalities. And it's like if you're a competitor, okay, I need to learn this matchup, I need to do this. For people and personalities, it's like a million different things. Everybody can be unique and everybody can be different in different ways.
I'll admit that it is kind of a similar skill set in a way. Like it's, while top players learn the matchups, I'm learning the personality matchups per se. Like, you know, a new player comes in, the biggest hurdle for a TO is getting that new player to stay, especially if they aren't the top. Because most players who come in, they're going to go 0-2 in their first event. That's just a fact. If they don't, it's kind of a rarity. And we'll address that in a second, but the point is that of those 0-2s, you get a whole sorts of different personalities and stuff. So to me, that's kind of like learning the personality matchup in that regard. I guess my point is it's not as different as it seems. I've competed for a long time as well, not at the level as lots of other players, but when you still get I've done the grind at what I can do and stuff. There's a lot of similarities actually, especially when at the top echelon, you're no longer just playing the character, you're playing against the player as well. So you already have to like kind of get into psychology a bit, and once you're doing that, you can already do that for the event running, I think, too, and stuff.
Would you have any advice for new or existing TOs? Because, you know, you've been around for many, many, many years, and you've been able to keep a community so close-knitted, you know, and when you come into this place, you can really feel it. So what kind of advice would you give to new and existing TOs?
Very loaded question. I could give a college course on this, I feel, but probably the hardest thing is, especially for scenes that are not in hubs. We have a lot of great TOs in the Midwest, especially where their scenes are not in like major cities. We have some in Toledo. Back in my day, we had Springfield, Ohio was a scene. The point is, the hard part is patience. It's okay. Treat your 4-man locals the same as your 100-man tournaments. Give that same passion and respect. And as you keep cultivating that, I think events are more organic and they kind of grow that way. You start your seed. You're not going to see the sprout for a long time. You have to keep at it. You're going to get days where you might not have any entrants or you go home early because things are bad like that. If you try to rush it, add too much in, you're going to get a plant that like withers out or something like that too. So definitely the patience in that. Do what's best for your scene. If like, this is the biggest lesson I learned as a Smash TO. Smash, for those who don't know, they have a separate rule set, and those rule sets are up against what local scenes feel, what stages should be allowed, or even what characters should be allowed. Listen to your local scene first, especially for your main like meet during the weeks and stuff. Your bigger events, do what everyone else is doing, but for your small stuff, trying to build your scene and stuff, go with what the locals want. And be patient about it.
Sounds great. I really like that metaphor that you make about, you know, planting the seeds and you have to wait for them to grow. Sometimes you run out of fertilizer and it's gonna weep. But
I mean, that's Tekken in a nutshell if you think about it. For those who are around forever, because I started with Tekken 5 as a competitor actually before I was even TOing and stuff. And then the formula always went: new Tekken comes out, people in the state would stick with it for 9 months. And then we'd have the last 2 people there, we'd shake our hands and say, see you at next Soul Calibur or something, or the next Tekken. And that's how it went and stuff. And that was an example of just like trying to, we didn't have the soil for it. We didn't have like the
nutrients that it needed.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with the game itself, because I do think Tekken 7's changes helped a lot with that. But on the flip side of it, we weren't united as much. It was significantly harder to even find just people in the city to play Tekken with when I was like doing that. But now it's like cakewalk because of all the resources, especially with the people making the Ohio FGC website, which I recommend every state does the same thing. You know, even little things like that, it just builds up a ton, and that's that structure going back to, that's your not just that's your soil and your fertilizer going forward and so forth.
So I think we're gonna have to wrap it up, but I thank you so much for your wisdom and your advice to the good people out there, especially TOs, you know, like I said, coming up and maybe struggling out there, and with locals, you know, struggling at this certain point of time.
Yes.
I think that advice really helps. So go ahead and let the viewers know all of your socials, where you are on social media, and where to find you.
Yeah, this is very easy. I'm the Keist on everything. So just my tag, whether it's Discord, Steam, Twitch, YouTube. I don't stream a lot. Sometimes I'll put on TO reviews of my own events to kind of do stuff on YouTube, but I've been kind of slacks on that, honestly. So I'm not active on there all the time, but I'll respond to any DMs and stuff if you guys have questions or comments and things.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
If you are a tournament organizer looking to have your local featured, then please reach out to Kanme Esports and Comics on all of your social media platforms. My name is Victeemo, and I'll see you at the next local.